If you've ever tried selling to broke people, you know how difficult they are to work with. Now, the thing that separates the advisors and the practices that actually manage to sell to the rich people, think people with 3 million, 5 million, 10 million, 20 million dollars in liquid assets, what separates those guys from the people that are just stuck with an average client base of 500K or $250,000? Well, that is what I'm going to go over in this video. Now, if you don't already know who I am, my name is Oliver Johnson. I run a performance-based marketing agency specifically focused on helping RIA practices, financial advisory practices, hedge funds, all different finance stuff where we raise capital for AM and also annuities if you sell any insurance products. Currently booking hundreds of appointments per month for the partners that I am partnered with. And my goal with this channel is just to share what I'm learning so that you can hopefully take those lessons and make more money and then maybe invest into growing your practice together with me. Now, there's a link below this video in the description where you can apply to work with me, and I will audit your practice to see if there's a fit where I might be able to hop in on 100% performance basis, where I build out your full acquisition channel, like I take care of the marketing, I take care of the sales, and then we just grow together. Now, enough japping. Let's get into it. So what actually differentiates you selling to the rich guy and Susan that has $50,000 in her retirement account? Why your RA marketing attracts the wrong client? What I want you to first understand is that there's two types of client. There's different levels as far as like where they are on the different hierarchy of needs, but I'll get into that later. If this marketing jargon is just gonna fly over your head, pay attention, because this will make you a shit ton of money once you unlock how this all works. So there's two different avatars. There's Susan, right? This scarcity client who is 62 years old, a retired teacher, $480,000 in a 401k, worries about running out of money. Very important, making sure that, hey, the core pain that she experiences is, will my money last? And the mindset that she is having is scarcity, a fear of loss, and a preservation above absolutely everything. That's fine. The decision driver for her, if she wants to work with a financial advisor, right, is the lowest fees, the safest funds, capital protection, and just less complexity overall. She buys, this is the price shopper, right? AUM at a discount, annuities that is pitched as safe, and just generic retirement plans, and the lifetime value to you as the firm owner is low, because you can't cross, no, there's no room for cross-selling into taxes, to other stuff, right? It's only a one-time 480K, and then that's it. Maybe it grows by 7% a year, right? And you make slowly over time. This is like 5K a year. It's not a lot, right, for that client, right? And this is also the client that will call you up every single time the market takes a dip. And you know how that is, right? The people that are paying you the least are the people that call you and annoy you the most, right? We don't tell Susan that she annoys us, but deep down, we're happy to help her. And then on the other side, right, we have Robert, who's the wealthy guy. Now, the business owner that is going to take care of him needs to have a different level of service capacity in order to even bring this guy on. A different level of sophistication to even get in the door and actually demonstrate your expertise to this type of client. But if you have the experience needed, or you have some stuff in Roth conversions or legacy planning, exit planning, that kind of thing, then all your clients should realistically be Robert. The difference is that you don't know how to get them in the door, because all your current clients are coming from referral, right? And Susan, this is the catch-22, right? Susan only knows other people with 500K, right? That is the circle that she is in. Robert, on the other hand, who's 47, owns a $14 million ARR service business, or is a C-suite executive at a big firm, or has a ginormous engineer post-IPO, like think Netflix. There's a bunch of these people in Silicon Valley, right? The core problem that this guy is experiencing is, how do I keep more of my money, protect my legacy, and compound the rest? This guy is not in a scarcity mindset. He is in an expansion and building mindset, right? An expansion, like he's building. He's not hoarding things, right? And he understands that, hey, as long as you can be more effective with my taxes, you have a better state structure, right? Maybe we set up some IULs or like life insurance for like, there's a ton of different tax strategies that you can do and cross you can do to this client that ultimately yields in more money for you, more money for him, right? And the lifetime value of this guy, by that nature, is like 10 to 50 times the amount of Susan, right? And this guy knows Tom, who is another business owner, right? Another wealthy peer. And if you perform, key point, this guy also has a little bit of a higher standard, but he pays you 50 times more. And if you want to build a valuable business, this is what you should focus on, right? If you perform, he will stick. There's two very distinct type of clients. Now, the sweet spot that we have found from the appointments that I'm booking is you have the kind of like hoarding mindset, typically between at most around 5 million, right? Any client in this kind of range tend to be the same type of client as far as like work. It doesn't take more work on your end to manage $3 million as it does 500K, because it's typically the same type of clientele that are optimizing for the same thing. Maybe this case wants to go on more vacations, right? And there's different, like what this all kind of boils down to is that there's different types of needs where each avatar lives. And at the very right, you have just the homeless people. That is like, will I run out of money, right? They're using strict survival mode, making sure that they have a roof over their head, making sure that they have food on the table, and that everything will be good, right? Then there's rung two, right? Safety. Can I sleep at night? Like, is there a roof over my head? Like I said, in Susan, and this is where most like 80% of America lives here, right? Can I just make sure that my safety net is gonna last, right? And I don't go homeless. And then there's this kind of transition zone where you think you have enough money, and typically this comes like, maybe you've experienced this, like you make a few six figures a year, you can get comfortable, right? You can get comfortable, like maybe a bigger car, vacations, whatever, going out to restaurants, you don't look at the price tag anymore. And there's this lifestyle thing that you want to keep, but it's still one step above safety and survival, right? Once you have that, and a lot of people stay stuck here, right? If you've been stagnating for like 10 years, your practice, maybe you manage 50, $80 million, right? You have a very lean team, maybe one or two assistants, right? You are probably here because you have a nice lifestyle. You've been here for X amount of years, right? It's just comfortable. But, and this is kind of what I want to get into you, then you come into this expansion mindset. And this is rung number 4, where Robert lives. Like, he thinks about how do I grow and protect what I build. He's also thinking about how do I pay less in taxes and structure for your generation. Like this guy, I'll be very, this thing here, being stuck here, where you're just like comfortable where you are, is very selfish in a sense. But this guy is thinking about how do I take care of not only myself and my needs, but also my family's needs. How do I make sure that this money that I bring in from my business is also going to transfer to my son, right? Who's also going to get into the same business, right? And he's also willing to expend capital to get that next level of problems solved, right? And this is where your money is made, right? Rich people problems is capital gains exposure on the upcoming exit, right? Trust and estate structures like kids, second marriage, maybe. Guy, you fucked it up on the first one. Charitable intent, QSBS, right? Opportunity zones, like a ton of this stuff. An employee, right? Maybe at one of the big firms, right? You know, Netflix, Apple, Google, Amazon, you name it, right? They have a good salary. Maybe it's in this zone of like comfort, but they still want to expand a little bit, right? They have big concentration in private family. Like, how do we make sure the kids don't blow it, right? He wants a quarterback. He doesn't want to manage the money. He just wants someone competent to take care of it and make sure that they don't fuck it up. And he's happy to pay for it. Then I see kind of like, I speak with multiple advisors on a weekly basis. And there's this catch 22, but it's this thing that's going around like, hey, put on a seminar or go to a local college or go to a local library and do a free financial advice event, right? Who do you think this attracts from a marketing perspective? Well, it attracts Susan, right? It attracts Susan, who has a little time sensitive, and it's just a big time drain. Now, to be fair, she probably isn't like, you'll meet with her once or twice per year, and then she'll give you a few calls if things go to shit for a week or two. Like, free financial advice, by its own nature, you having that headline will attract a prospect of the type that is simply looking for, like, if they resonate with free financial advice, by default, they don't have a sense of financial literacy, how to grow money, right? They're just broke, which is fine. Like, no judgment. But if you want to get the rich guy, don't tell the business owner isn't looking for free financial advice. I'm gonna be real, and especially if you here is asking for 3 hours of his 3 hours where he's gonna go in person to an event away from his big business to get hopefully some free financial advice. He will pay you for it and hop on a Zoom call because his hourly rate is much higher than that, right? But if you instead build all your marketing around tax mitigation strategies for business owners exiting in the next 24 months, wow, that attracts Robert. And the business, and like this is an extreme example, like 14 million ARR, but the guy's selling in 24 months, or he has sold, right? And now sits on a bunch of cash. He might be 50, looking for an exit before retirement, right? Maybe it's not 14 million, but the business does like $1 million a year in profit, and then he will exit for like a 3 to 5 times multiple. He'll take a cash check of like 5 million after 2 years. Maybe there's some solo financing, whatever it is, right? Then there's capital gains tax where you come in, hopefully, right? And then you can manage the rest. That is how this works. All this to say, what is the actual takeaways that you should do in your marketing to attract the rich guys? Well, just drop the free financial advice, please, because it's not going to attract anyone and everyone will sound the same. Specialize in niche rich problems. Tax, legacy, never wealth management. Management can be because everyone will sound the same and you have to be very, very particular, and you can make it work. Don't get me wrong, you can make it work. Wealth management is the delivery mechanism. There's a difference between dream outcome, which is what the prospect buys. Robert does not buy wealth management. He buys making sure that he saves more money than he's expense with you. He buys that thing is going to grow at an outsized pace compared to doing it with another guy, right? Susan buys making sure that this thing is going to last. She buys retirement income, right? And your headline distinctively attracts whatever dream outcome prospect you want to get. And then your delivery shifts to however you facilitate the dream outcome. This is why, for example, you see 50 different ways to lose weight. Everyone has the same dream outcome that they are marketing, right? Hey, do you want to lose 50 pounds because you are too fat and you can't run around with your kids, right? Yes, I want to do that. Okay, here's this cool thing that is going to make you lose 50 pounds and run away with your kid, like be able to play soccer with your kids, right? Okay, how do you deliver that? Because this market is astronomical. Like, there's tens, hundreds of millions of people in this world, right? The only thing that differs between companies is the delivery mechanism. You can sell weight loss by supplements. You can sell it through like liposuction, which you can charge a shit ton of money for. You can sell it through an ebook, right? A cookbook. You can sell it through training programs, personal training. You can sell it in like a 6 week to 6 pack abs type package, right? There's a bunch of different delivery mechanisms. Like there's peptides, there's going to the gym, there's swimming, there is supplements, there is keto, there is, you know them all, right? And it's the same thing here. Nobody buys the delivery mechanism. Everyone buys the dream outcome. And as long as you can speak to the dream outcome of the rich people, like cash flow structure, downside optimization, to the people building, you can also attract the rich folks. And this is what we help with, right? So in your marketing message, in your VSL, I'll give you one here. The retirement tax time bomb, right? Draining $150,000 from 500K savers before they even retire. In this funnel that we built for a client, guess what we are doing? I am deliberately calling out, if you have a lower minimum, we need to update it because their minimum is now $1 million, but we disqualify out loud. Like if you have less than $1 million in investable assets, this is not for you. That way, you build a wall where the only people that can walk through the front door is the rich people, right? And then you can position yourself as a quarterback. Hey, if you have over $1 million, you have over $3 million, if you're looking for an exit, you are getting conflicted advice from your estate planner, from your CPA, right? I'll take care of your money and own the entire thing. And that is how you need to position your firm to sell to the rich folks. Now, if you want my help to run your ads, we can always do that. This is Chris. Happy Chris, right? We spent just over $12,000 over 9 months, booked 144 meetings at $88 a meeting. Imagine that, right? We brought on over $8 million, cash collected over 100K from $12,000 to spend year one. Very important. And then if you don't suck at your job, right, you'll keep them for 10 years. So you can do the math there. Roger spent $7,560 on ads. You can see that right here. We booked him over 93 calls at an $80 cost per call. Right? He brought on a little bit over $5 million in assets, and one of the clients has $800,000 in net income per year. We need to speak to the rich folks, right? Roger is happy, and I can actually show you Roger's funnel. High earner wealth gap. Do you see a trend here, right? Now we're speaking to the C-suite, we're speaking to the software engineers that are making multiple six figures, but feel like their net worth isn't catching up with their income, right? And then we have Nathaniel, this guy, Derek, booked him over 25 calls and used $2,000 of spend. That was across a month. So yeah, there's a link below this video. It will take you to a page that looks like this. It might change by the time you go down there. Where you can click the button and just apply to work with me. I take 100% performance basis partnerships, meaning that I will build out all your ads. I will reposition your offer and solve the marketing and sales constraint in your business. I'll build your offer. I'll build your funnel. I will run your ads. I will script your ads. I will build the VSL. I will design all the websites, all the flows, right? And all you gotta do is show up to the Zoom calls and close the client. And I only get paid when I get people onto your calendar. So whether you are an annuity producer or a financial advisor in the $50 million range to $100 million, and you want to crack that, right? Or if you're an RIA that has multiple advisors where you want to just expand the practice and just get out of the seminar hamster wheel and have something scalable that you own in-house, where you're not reliant on a third-party lead vendor or a third-party agency, we can just build it out together. And I take a performance-based upside on that, and there's a link below in the description if you want to check out exactly how that works. Take these lessons, speak to the rich problems, and make more money, and then I will see you in other future videos. Cheers.